What say ye, Lansing? We are one of 50. However, this isn't about politics. Our streets are not bustling. Our factories are not building. Our businesses are put on pause. The rhythm of the street continues. This is a moment in time. What will go down in history is how we react. It's easier to be positive when things are going well. We must find a way to use this time purposefully. Attitude is a product of belief. Lansing believes in itself. We are a city with grit. Let's show the world what love Lansing really means. Show the world what it means to be Lansing made. Lansing pride, Lansing art, Lansing know-how. It's time to band together to help one another, uplift each other. It's time to show the world that Lansing grit. When this moment in time is over, we'll be more than ready. We'll be more than what it took to survive. We'll thrive. Together we can. The pause will end. It'll be go time, Lansing. Let 'em know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of What's the Haps Lansing. I am the People's Champ. It's Metro Malik. And let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started with Emily Stevens of Lansing Parks and Recreation. I ran out of air.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Sometimes it's hard to remember to breathe. It's
right.
how
It is.
How it goes.
So, hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. How are you?
It is cool to talk about some fun stuff that's happening in the city, and you're kind of in charge of the fun stuff.
My for other people, yes, but I'm the manager of leisure services is my official title. So, yes, that's. Fanciness.
The fancy title of that, what does that really mean?
Normally it means I oversee the recreation side of the Parks and Recreation Department. So we have our 4 community centers, our Lifetime Sports Office, Turner Dodge House, Fenner Nature Center that we partner with. So I kind of oversee all of those and help make sure those are running well and providing, people in Lansing what they need.
So running well in terms of like facilities, making sure
facilities, programming, and then in the summertime I also do a lot of different special events. So like in a normal summer I would do the 4th of July parade and the fireworks, the concerts, outdoor movies, things like that with the public media people. So it's more and just helping the staff and helping them find resources and partners and just trying to provide things that make sense and the people enjoy.
So how is that when you do get to the point of Parks and Rec and then doing events, is that funded in multiple different ways?
Yes. Yep. There's general fund support for the Parks and Recreation Department. We also have the millage, and that's most of the Parks millage money, which I believe is coming up. But most of that is for parks projects, so like construction projects, things like that. But there is some that's set aside for like kids camp to help make sure that we have money for camp, and then also I go out and get sponsorship dollars. So for concerts and things like that, most actually all of it is supported by sponsor dollars. So that's how we do those.
Oh, so that now people can have a general idea, why is the city paying money for this? When you're like, well, actually the sponsors are paying for that.
Correct.
We have great partners.
Yes, I do. I like a good partner. I like a good partner. They're my favorites. So yeah, we do, especially for concerts and things. We've had a lot of sponsors that have been with us for a really long time. And even through this interesting summer, they've stuck with us. So which I totally appreciate.
That's good to hear too.
Yeah.
But things like day camp and stuff like that would probably be more different funds.
Yeah. So day camp comes out. So there's the millage funds that day camp pays for, and then also general fund, but also CDBG funds. So community development block grant funds. We use that.
I've never heard of this.
No, not the CDBG. I always like to say it really fast.
Yeah, but I was thinking CBGBs in New York City, and I'm like, what fund is that?
So those are dollars, and we work with our planning department. They actually apply for those dollars. And then they allocate some of it to, and so it's specified for specific areas in Lansing and where we can spend it. But so they help us pay for camps, which is why our camps are really low cost, because we subsidize them heavily to make sure that everybody could have access to them.
See, this is why we have the show. So we're having fun and we're learning some stuff. I love this kind of thing. All right, you live in Lansing.
I do.
Right? Mm-hmm. Have you from where? Like, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite furry animal? Have you lived here your whole life?
There's so many different questions.
Yeah.
So I have lived here my whole life. I actually bought the house that I live in right now from my dad. So I grew up in that house since I was 10. So I'm Lansing born and proud, and I'm a big red. So so I went to Auto Middle School, which I get sad when I look at that building. But and I went to Cumberland. So yeah, I grew up Lansing Public Schools. I went to Grand Valley for a year, and then came back to Michigan State and got my degree in Parks and Recreation. And while I was at Michigan State, I started working just part-time for the Parks and Rec Department Lansing. And then a job opened up. I was lucky. A job opened up, and I got hired.
So when young people are asked what they want to be when they grow up, I'm thinking you're the anomaly. What made you think about Parks and Rec and to go into that?
Yeah, so it is one that people kind of stumble into, but which I think is funny because I shouldn't say most, but many people grow up in different recreation programs. They go to camps, they go to after school programs, and all these people are their mentors and they look up to them, but then they don't make that connection that that's actually like their job.
Right.
They're not just having fun. But it is funny because I went to Grand Valley and I was going to go into physical therapy because they had a good physical therapy program, not because I had any passion about it. It was just like, oh, that's a good one, so we'll do that. And I went and took one of those tests, those career tests.
Yes.
And thinking that would give me like the real answer of what I was supposed to be. And so I filled it all out and waited for the results. And the first thing that came up was priest. And it wasn't going to work out for me. A couple reasons.
We won't delve into
that. Yeah.
But...
So, I was like, well, what's number 2? Because I don't think I can make that many changes in my life and make that work out. So... But number 2 was recreation director.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess, you think about, religions, they a lot of them are involved in the community and trying to help the community. And so I think, that's how they're tied together.
Yeah.
But I was like, the one big question that should be on there is, what's your gender? I think that's a big one. Unless the Catholic Church changes their mind about some things. I don't know. So that was, it was funny. But yeah, and it was recreation director. And
you're like, look, what does this computer think about me?
Right. I was like, well, I changed one thing. I don't know. So, yeah, so it was recreation director. And then at Grand Valley, they didn't have that major at the time. So I came back to Michigan State. And I grew up at the YMCA. I grew up going to like Camp Pawapi out in Williamston, and so I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. All the people that have helped shape my life were in this field. So I was glad that I took the test, glad that the first one wasn't for me. So I went on to number 2, and and it really spoke to me. It was like, this is working with my community, helping my community in fun ways. I think that fit well. I did like the junior achievement, like in the classroom, and I was so I shouldn't say miserable, but it was so uncomfortable to me because I wanted the kids to like run around and play and like shout things, and the teacher's like, sit with your hands in your lap, and I'm like, like it was so stifling. I was like, oh no, I need to be in a place where we can run around
we can
and
do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. So, so that's kind of how it happens. So
That's interesting because I hear about those tests often, and it's nice to hear that it worked out well, and it's been an enjoyable experience. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break because we got some information to share. Speaking of funds, got to fill out the census. So because of details, the census filling out deadline has been extended to, I think, this fall. I think we have till October to fill out. So this is another friendly reminder. And then if you're out there in the world and need some help, there's another friendly reminder. So we'll be back in 2.
I'm Metro Malik of Lansing Maid. I encourage you to watch this informative video collaboration between Capital Area United Way and the City of Lansing. It's important to you.
The Michigan census data helps to direct federal funding that accounts for 42% of the state's annual budget.
Which means responding to the census helps fund our health care,
housing,
roads,
vital school programs,
community development, and more.
That's why we're here to tell you that I count.
I count.
I count,
and so do you.
So on April 1st,
take 5 minutes to fill out the census.
Your responses are confidential and secure.
Because if you care about the Lansing area,
then your response will help make our cities better.
So fill out the census and be counted.
Be counted.
Be counted.
And be counted.
Thanks for watching. Now I'm going to get online and take just 5 minutes to fill out the census. I encourage all of you to do the same.
Do you need help with food, housing, or paying bills? Do you need support in a family crisis or a community disaster? Central Michigan 211 is an easy way to connect to get all kinds of help right in your community. Central Michigan 211 is here for you, anytime, all the time. Just call, text, or search online, and Central Michigan 211 will get you connected.
We're back in 2, as I promised. Thanks for tuning in to What's the Haps. I'm enjoying having a grand conversation with Emily Stevens, who's not priest, Emily
not a
Stevens,
priest, no.
but also
not father,
not Father Stevens, but doing great things for the community. And so we kind of talked about Parks and Rec, and I can speak from my lack of knowledge. I see a park and I go, all right, what exactly does that mean? What does it mean to have a park? How do we get a park? How many parks do we have? Are they being utilized?
Yeah, so we have 111 parks, which is actually way above average for the amount of people in the city. So we are very park-heavy city, which I think is a good thing, but it is a lot of maintenance, it's a lot of mowing. And our parks range in size and in amenities all over the board. So some are just a green space, and some have playgrounds. And
one of my favorite unique parks is a park off Pennsylvania, which is problematic to get to, but it's an open telephone pole thing.
Yes.
Just if you're going on Pennsylvania, just over the bridge.
Starts with an F, doesn't it?
And I'm like, I've seen people run dogs in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to play in that park because there's no playground.
Yeah, it's just a straight,
it's just a
green
straight
space.
Green space, and that's probably an example of somebody donated.
Yeah, so a lot of parks are donated land from one thing or another, and some it's it's telephone poles going all the way through it. What else is it going to be?
Right.
Let's make it at least some green space that people can enjoy instead of just something overgrown that people can't. So because the green space by itself, helps with mental health, helps with physical health. So, the more green and the more, outdoors we can let the people in the city feel that they have, the better for everyone. So.
And it is neighborhood-y, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of houses, because I drove back there the other day.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking for a place for Raiden to play.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy needs to run off some energy so we can both get a nap later today.
Yes, naps are important. Naps are important for all people.
So that can kind of, and I'm being silly, I'm kind of facetious, but that explains to people how we end up with 111s.
Yeah.
Someone wills it out.
I will say I think we've grown a little pickier on what we will accept, just because, when we got all this land way back in the day, things were good, we weren't worried about maintenance costs and things, and now so it's like, okay, well, we'll take this money, and also we need some funds to make you can pay for maintenance of this. So
donate it, but donate some.
Yeah. So
help.
it's interesting when it's you have to think of lawn care maintenance for a lot of these things, and a lot of people want to give things, and it's like, well, we have to think about how we're going to take care of that in the long run. So that that's become more of our philosophy moving forward, and how we accept and get land. And a lot of times we're looking for land to expand the river trail or connect the river trail in one way or another.
Which is the best part.
Yeah. It's 16 miles of trail, and I love the river trail just because, like, downtown it feels very urban, but then you go out by like Mount Hope Cemetery, like Fenner Nature Center area, and it's just wilderness everywhere. It's just crazy. It's beautiful.
So when I've had people complain about our parks and things about Lansing, I'm like, look, Lansing is so cool that you can drive 5 minutes and be in a urban area, and then go somewhere and be in the middle of the woods and take a nap.
Yeah.
And once Kriego Park opened up, that gem of a spot is so fantastic. So and people use that. I just showed my son, the 15-year-old likes to go fishing. I'm like, dude, I've never been here before, but I think this might be for you.
Yeah.
He loves it there.
Yeah. I love when you pull in and it kind of like
it just you're like, what?
Yeah, what just happened? Like, did I go through like a portal?
Has this wizard been here the whole time?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a beautiful space. That whole area of Lansing, it's amazing. If you look at a map, how much of it's parkland, because you've got, so the zoo is parkland. You have Kriego, you have Evergreen Cemetery, Fenner, Mount Hope Cemetery. I mean, it's just the amount of parkland and green space on that side of town is phenomenal. It's amazing.
It's beautiful. All right, we're gonna take one more break because I want to make sure that we get it in. It is a cool thing that people are doing. They started in our neighborhood with the 2020 Porch Concerts. So this is the further adventures of Fat Boy and Jive Turkey, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Introducing a local musician and his desire to perform.
Hello, I am Benjamin Hall. I'm the frontman and singer for the group The Further Adventures of Fat Boy and Jive Turkey.
COVID-19 has created chaos. However, it has led to innovation in the local music scene.
As with most musicians, all the venues are closed, and so we had to figure out a way to get the music out to the streets. So we decided that we were going to do a 2020 Porch Tour. We began July 26th on a Sunday, and we just are playing on different members of the band's front porches. On the 26th, we played in the West Side neighborhood. Coming up August 9th, we're going to be playing in Colonial Village in another member of the band's neighborhood. And we hope to continue possibly doing some stuff in Okemos, Grand Ledge, and then definitely back in the West Side neighborhood and possibly back in Colonial Village.
The audiences may be small. The enthusiasm has been grand.
Well, we had a pretty good showing on the 26th. We had a lot of people, a lot of familiar faces. Some of our tried and true fans that come out and see us at different venues around Lansing, as well as some West Side residents that we'd never met before. So it was a good opportunity to have a socially distant good time. Had plenty of kids out enjoying the music.
Things have changed in the world, and Mr. Hall seems to accept it as a good thing.
It makes me feel like the music matters. Like, my neighbors and friends haven't forgot about the energy, the ambiance that's produced from a live performance, and people seem like they're hungry for it.
It seems people are finding peace in novel ways to showcase their creative endeavors.
I think that the neighborhoods are going to get used to it, and it's a good possibility. Yeah, I would definitely be open. Now that it has happened, and I know it can happen again, it can happen again.
For information about future shows for the Further Adventures of Fat Boy and Jive Turkey, find their Facebook page.
And rock and roll hoochie coo. Hopefully you'll be able to get to enjoy some music. That was a fun little piece. Do you know Fat Boy and Jive Turkey?
I don't know them.
Mm-mm. Benjamin Hall is...
See, now I think I know Benjamin Hall.
Yeah.
Or I know his name, and I know if I saw his face, I'd be like, yeah.
He used to work for East Lansing, and he did stuff for the Jazz Fest.
Okay. I'm sure we...
Anything, there's no way you two couldn't, if you have not crossed paths, I'm like, that's just odd.
I'm sure we have. I think we did a concert at St. Joe Park a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure he was involved with that, and it was when they couldn't do some kind of jazz thing in East Lansing, and they were moving it around. Something like that. So, yeah. Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
You deal with the musicians. All right, COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And wreaked havoc. But you're still doing concerts in the park. That's one of your big summer things.
We are, yeah. We're doing concerts in the park. The smaller version, quite, so we...
so Big Gratch is like no more than 100 people.
Right, and and we respect that. So actually I give out, we give out some raffle tickets to people as they come in so I can count them. We post when the event's full. Each one, we've got just about 100 people at each one, and everyone's, respecting the social distancing. Usually at concerts, I will say, before social distancing was a thing, you social distance because it was weird if you were going into a park and you just cozied up next to a stranger. There's enough space there to do that. So there, it's a pretty easy thing to enforce there. A lot of people wear masks, but people are really respectful and they're having a good time and they're really appreciating. It's just people want something to do.
I think we realize how important entertainment is because we get the entertainment, but I think it's on a different frequency now that we're like, hold on a second, I can't do so many things.
Right.
Let me readjust to how important entertainment is. And so are you still able to have food at the places, or how does this work?
Yeah, so we have one food truck on the go concessions comes, and so they follow all Gretchen's rules, and so we have them there, and so they're still able to do that, and it's really, they're pretty low-key concerts, so but again, it's more about just limiting the amount of people and spreading them out. But we definitely have food there, and they're every Wednesday from 7 to 9, and they bop to different parks around the city. So we've already been to Turner Dodge House, Fulton Park, which is another really cool, huge stretch of land, Fulton, Fine, and Hunter's Ridge on the south side of town. It's got some BMX dirt bike trails back there and stuff.
What's the one that has the Harmony Fest?
Davis.
Oh, so I know I've seen the Fulton sign.
Fulton it's tucked away down Sheffield off of Waverly. So it's tucked back there, but it's all along the river. A ton of parkland back there, very, very beautiful. But
is there an easy map to find of these parks?
Yeah.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, yeah. If you go to our website, so lansingmi.gov/parks, there's a parks and facilities area.
Yeah.
And it brings up a map. I think it's kind of overwhelming because it has 111 dots on it all around Lansing, but you can search by park. You can zoom in to see what's near you. So and then you can look by park and then see what amenities are in the park and things like that.
Awesome. Sure. I'm glad I asked because I never this is no thing against you. Going to the city website is complicated. But
we work on it every day to try and make it
you've made it easy. Go to parks and then find the thing. Yeah. So that's good. So that's a big highlight. Concerts in the park. You put out information on that. It's probably on your Book of Face page. And people, can they sign up for an email?
They can sign up for our emails, and that'll be kind of generic for everything. Facebook is where we post most of our updates. We do put things on the website. But we have concerts we extended it through August because we started late. So there's concerts right up through the end of August.
It's usually a different genre each week. So
Well, I know we're ending with Tejano, so I'm kind of excited. I love the Tejano, the Tejano music. It always come out and it gets everybody dancing. It's just a big party. So I'm excited for that one. That's at the end of August. So.
And you have the Sea Cruisers out.
We have the Sea Cruisers,
kind of
Life Support. Yeah. Solstice is coming.
And I'm sure that, especially now, the performers are like, "Yay, get a place to play."
Yeah, some are. We've had to change some that that aren't able to, and some of it's just they haven't been able to get together to practice.
Right.
So they're like, we haven't even seen each other. So
Yeah.
so it's been, we've changed up some of the bands because of that, but yeah, they're excited, and I know their biggest worry a lot of times is afterwards, because people like to approach them afterwards, and we just have to stop that, because they're on a stage, they get spread out on their stage, so it's not, they're up above people, so it's more about the end of it. But yeah, they're excited to just be out and play and have fun. We had the rotations, and they really enjoyed the rotations. It's like made up of all these other great musicians from other bands, and so it was really fun to watch them. They were so excited to be able to play together. So they were like, "That was amazing!" Like they had a blast. So that was really fun. To watch.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So all right, so that's what I kind of wanted to highlight. Is there anything that we should talk about that people should know?
Well, I say one thing is we are successfully running one small camp. So not all our camps canceled. So we have a small camp running out of Foster, following all the rules by the camp licensing. It's been going since all through July, and there's one more week in August. It's only 36 kids because that's all we can have, and make sure that they're distanced. But I'm really proud of the staff, and really proud that we were able to provide this experience for at least some children. And they, the parents are really appreciative. The kids are really good. They have to wear masks all day, and they still do it, and they're just enjoying it. So with all of this COVID, we're really trying to find ways to make sure that we still can provide something in some ways to people, because I mean, I'm a mom. I know, I want to, I want to find something for my kids and really get them moving, because I think that's really as it gets colder, I'm a little more nervous about it, but making sure that our kids are up and moving and interacting with people, I think is really important.
Well, I tell the kids in my house, I look outside and I go, oh, the sun is shining, you better get out there.
Right.
Because come February, I'm not going out there.
Right. Right.
It's just not me, but you need to get out. I'm not preaching, but it's nice to be able to get out and do things. So I'm glad to be.
We never appreciate the warm weather when we have it. We complain about the warm, we complain about the cold. Let's stop and appreciate where we're at.
It's just, there's a lot, and friends have been like, I wish our kids could play together. I'm like, yeah, no, thanks for reminding me.
For me, just people watching, or if people have ideas, or I wish we could do or would do, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Also, if you have a skill, like one of the ways we do classes is we contract with people to do classes. So if you ever want to teach a class, once we get our centers back open, because they are all technically closed to the public still, but we can offer classes. We can offer classes out in the parks too. We can help people do that. So we're always looking for different ways and better ways to serve. So if you have ideas or things that you would like to see, please let us know, especially during this COVID time, because we're all trying to kind of reinvent what we're doing. So I'll take all the ideas. So how would they
contact? To whom would they contact, and how?
Yeah, so they could email me. And my email is just Emily, EMILY, .Stevens, STEVENS, @lansingmi.gov. They could call 517-483-6074. That gets to me, and I'll make sure I can direct them and connect them to the right person, depending on what it is. But yeah, I mean, and even just posting on our Facebook page, or messaging our Facebook page, we talk to that as well. But we're here to serve the public.
You're here for the people.
Yeah, so let us know.
The people.
I can't say we can do everything,
right?
But we can definitely consider all things. So we just want to. There's only so much brain power, here. So I need all of your brains.
And you have a lot of hats.
Yes.
I've seen some of the stuff that you've done, like in process, like the parade. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. I've never been a parade enjoyer. I feel bad saying that. But when I got put in charge of it, I started to enjoy it much more, because I really like seeing all these different groups, community groups coming, and their pride in what they're doing in the community. And so I just saw it in a whole different light, and just really cool to see that many people out on a holiday ready to celebrate and, celebrate what they do and let others know. I think it's very cool.
And with that, I'm going to say that's a great stopping point. Celebrate Lansing parks. They're there for you. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the space. The playgrounds are open.
Yes.
Right?
The playgrounds are open, yes.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me, lansingmade.com. This is your show. Let me know. But until next time, Lansing, you all be great.